And the more that the culture of the studio, specific comments that a teacher might make, it's very possible that I'm going to critique Emily right now, and that Laura, something I will say at random, may have more meaning for Laura in advancing her project than what she may hear when she gets her credit. It's very possible. So one of the important lessons, I think, from Iggy's admonition is that you never know what you're going to need. You don't know what you need to hear. You need to hear as much as you can, and then kind of develop your own faculty for sorting it out and deciding what's relevant to you. And it's usually, for me, it's my intuition. So.
I changed the porch, but I hadn't changed it on here. But everything is sketched on here.
Right, very good. So this is your entry porch.
Yes.
Where's your solar porch?
The sunset?
Yes.
It's
Sunset porch, excuse me.
right in the middle of the back.
So that would be right here.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't have to be a certain size, about
It is
8 by 5.
5.
Okay, good. So we'll put it right there. So first I'm just going to draw on this. So what I really want to give you a crit on first is what I was focusing on Tuesday with people, which is most people have been pretty good at figuring out the difference between outside and inside on their projects.
Mm-hmm.
They've done pretty well at determining, whether the project is concealed or revealed by the site,
Mm-hmm.
where the project is accessed from. So just so you know, one thing that I'm going to expect you to do is to analyze this, path from here to here, and figure out how you're going to move people up that path.
Mm-hmm.
So that's part and parcel of your decision to put your entry on axis and reveal your project on the site. So, but what I think I'm going to do that here. I'm first going to sketch over the top of this so we can look at where people enter. I'm going to get this, and there's quite a bit of difference. Should I assume this is more current than that?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you for saying that. So, since entry is here, let's figure out how we're going to enter. And I'm just going to start drawing where I think solid walls. Now, the other thing I want to know, so this is where you've got your
Sculpture.
pedestal.
Mm-hmm.
And where is the painting?
Here.
And where does the light enter for that painting? It looks like it's right on the corner of that sunset porch. How does the light enter?
By degree.
Is there not a wall here?
Yes, there's a wall.
And isn't the wall right dead center in the painting?
So that needs to be adjusted.
Okay, so I'm going to suggest 2 adjustments right off the bat.
Okay.
I'm going to suggest it is not necessarily wrong to have your pedestal here,
Mm-hmm.
but if you move your pedestal north, this program of lighting from the south side of your cube
Mm-hmm.
will have a greater degree of impact on the atmosphere of the space.
Okay.
Why would that be? Why would I say
Because you
that?
would have a greater amount of.
Has to cross the space. The sun, it's an asymmetrical condition. The sun is coming from the south on all 3 days,
Mm-hmm.
all 3 positions. So if this were to move back, and I'm going to suggest, given how you have these walls, I'm going to pull an axis across here, and I'm going to suggest that perhaps you move your painting from here to here.
Okay.
And center it on that. And that means, of course, that you are going to create your aperture for lighting that painting here. I'm not quite sure where wall is here, but somewhere there's wall.
Oh,
correct?
this would be, because these are
So
spatial subtraction.
walls here, Where's
the
wall?
wall's here.
The wall's here. So let me pull that out, and I'm going to rely upon you. So I know about that. And what if I, just to be really straightforward in 101 about it, what if I moved your pedestal so that it was right on the cross axis between where this light would come in and the cross axis with the painting, so that they lock each other in space? I'm just saying. I don't know.
It seems like it would be. Huh?
Madame l'architecte.
It seems like it saves the most time and is most logical
Well,
to have them on the
it begins to relate things in the space. I don't know how much time it saves, but it begins to invest the structure of the space with the activity of looking at the art. Now, if I were to say that, what would be the problem with this potentially if I put it right on the axis and I have a window there?
Well, it's not the sun.
Will this block the light?
Yeah.
And the light's coming in almost perfectly horizontal, is it not? So all of a sudden my first idea is no good.
Hey man,
Right?
I thought you were helping me. Okay.
Don't worry, I'll ruin your project yet. It's
Cool.
question of time. What I might do in that case is reassess where I'm going to put that. I might move it then up to where it's on axis, but not crossing the axis. So it's creating that. So maybe I'll move it from here to here. So
But wouldn't that present the same problem about the wall?
How would it?
Because this is wall.
But it's being lit from the south.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So, having said that, I'm going to spot these two artifacts in the space. And now I'm just going to take a first pass on where walls are. Where's boundary here? Is that boundary between inside and out? Is that outside?
Yes.
Can I assume then, since that's inside and outside, that this wall does that, where the seating is not? Or does
No,
it do this
it goes
sawtooth?
into the building.
So it does this sawtooth?
Yeah.
That's boundary. So I'm going to go ahead and, I hate that. Create a wall. I'm going to create a wall. And then I'm going to create a wall here. And I'm going to create a wall here, here, and here.
Okay.
Then I'm going to pull this axis out. And I'm going to come across. And I know that I'm going to have to create 3 windows in line with that pedestal, right? I'm going to come across, and now I'm going to pop this up like this. But then I'm going to skip. I'm going to go like that. I'm going to make another parallel. I'm just going to start. I'm going to do everything in the same grain except for this top piece. And for the moment, out of simplicity, I'm just going to close it off.
Okay.
Now I'm going to look at this. Where do let's look at the flow. And it's probably almost certain that I'm going to enter here. Okay? So that means I'm going to put a window there. It means I'm going to have a door swing here.
But I can't enter through here?
I'm going to say enter this way.
Okay.
I'm just for the moment.
Okay.
Now when I come in, I'm going to enter this way. I'm going to encounter this on my left. I'm probably going to turn. I'll be in a position now online at sunset to see this. I'll probably turn and access the space this way. And what I really want to do is get people moving through the space. So right now I'm drawing something that's not physical. It's a path.
Yeah.
It's an implied path. And I can already tell, I'm obviously going to have a window here. I'm going to have a window here. I'm going to have a window here. I'm going to have a window here and a window here. And I'm going to put a window here.
Okay.
And then my other door there. window for the moment, just out of simplicity's sake. Now my implied path of travel, I'll draw where the porches reach out. And now my implied path is going something like this. So somebody that would go through the space would have to do that.
Okay, yeah. I get that.
Okay, so now I've started to structure the kind of social organizations of the space.
Okay.
Now, there's probably, I'm going to go ahead and use a very light line and just sort of, I'm not quite sure how all this folded seating works, but you'll show me. I do know that if we do this, that this one is probably just going to go away.
Yeah.
Okay? And if you're okay with that, and it might mean that you re-invoke that here and have a kind of answering L to that.
Okay.
And you could even, if you wanted to be really fancy about it, this would probably be a really nice place to sit. Add another one there.
Okay.
And now, clean wall for the painting.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, there's a window. There's actually 3 windows here. Have you calculated your angles yet?
Yeah, it's on a different page.
Okay, good. I trust you.
Okay, thank you.
Right. And I expect there will be more formal and sculptural moves made on this thing than what we just talked about here. But we have established where we enter, where we exit, at least a kind of plausible hypothesis about how we move through the space. And that's kind of where I left everybody on
Okay, thank you.
Tuesday. And Natalie, could you halt us?